So now let's begin our Glue tutorial. In this section, we'll see how S3, Athena, Glue all are interdependent. The features of Glue we'll be exploring is the crawler. So what does a crawler do? Think back to our last example of schema definition and then manual entry of player first name, last name, etc. A crawler will allow us to collect all the metadata and store it in Glue. In other words, a crawler invokes classifiers to infer the schema for your data. And this is paraphrased from AWS Help. So let's now use a data set included with our AWS account, the flights CSV located at the below location. So let's first begin by clicking on the crawler application within Glue. So we can actually come over here, get into Glue, and then we can add a crawler. So right now in this actual screenshot, we do not have any crawlers yet, but we're about to create one. Again, with this crawler, it will actually be able to organize all the metadata, and we'll get into that right now. So select Create Crawler, and our data resides in an S3 bucket. Make sure your location is the same as below. So data store is an S3, and we're going to specify the path in my account. So right now we're using the S3 crawler for the flight data 2016 CSV that came with the AWS. So the next step will ask you to configure your crawler. If your schema changes frequently, like you get new attributes frequently, you can change the frequency the crawler runs. So if this is you're continually adding new columns and new attributes, this can also update depending on how frequent you want your crawler to update. An important aspect of configuration is the output. Ensure that when you create a new database with a crawler that you add a prefix to the table. Take a look at the example. When my database is created, my table will have the prefix flights. This will allow your data to stay consistent. So we can see in the first part of the screenshot, it says flights-db. When we run this crawler, it will create the table for us. So we should take all the necessary precautions as if we were designing a schema from scratch. So finally, you'll be asked to name the crawler. For this example, we named our crawler Flight Data Crawler. And it's that simple. Your crawler should be complete and ready to run. Your crawler is seen in the below dashboard view. So this right here, this next screenshot is what the crawler will actually do. And a crawler connection to the data store progresses through a prioritized list of classifiers to determine the schema for your data and then creates metadata tables in your data catalog. So this will actually do all of that for you. In the check next to your crawler name, select it. Finally, select Run Crawler, and this may take several minutes to actually run. So over here, when we click the select, that's where we're actually going to run this, and then obviously be patient, and then check out the logs. See the next step for the log evaluation. Again, this may take a couple seconds, so have some patience with it and see what happens. So the above is an example of the log after we ran it. Notice that in the second entry, the results are stored in the flight database. So we can actually see that right here, it's running the start crawler for crawler flight data crawlers, and the classification has been complete, and it writes the result to the database, the flights-db that we created earlier. That's it. You have eliminated the manual work of defining your metadata. Your data was stored in S3. We created a database and table using Glue, and now you can write queries in Athena. Query results can, of course, feed the AWS analysis. So this can really do a lot of heavy lifting for you in the sense that it can create the metadata, and then in Athena, you can actually write your queries to pull that information. Within S3, you can actually do all the different machine learning that you may want to do and create. And so this is how it's all trying to work a bit together. So Amazon QuickSight is a business intelligence tool that creates dynamic visualizations. And these visualizations